King Minos ruled over the island of Crete, situated in the Aegean Sea between Greece and Turkey. The Bronze Age period of this island gives us clues and insight to the origins of the myth of the Minotaur and to what extent it is true. Minoan civilization named after the legendary king Minos that supposedly ruled the island and home to the supposed Minotaur, who emerged when the king, who at this point had not solidified his position as ruler, asked for the god Poseidon of the sea to grant him a splendid bull for sacrifice. Poseidon gifted a bull far superior to any other bull. Upon seeing the bull, the king decided not to sacrifice it and keep it for himself and his own herd. This would later create a superior breed of bulls. Angered by this, Poseidon made the bull go on a rampage, and yet the worst of the revenge has still to come. He made the queen's wife, Pasiphae, fall in love with the bull. Out of this was conceived the Minotaur, half man and half bull, with it only eating humans. The king goes to the oracle of Delphi, who tells him to build a labyrinth for the beast. He then instructs Daedalus to build him a huge maze and for no one to know its secrets. To prevent any secrets from escaping, he locks Daedalus and Icarus inside a tower. The king, whose son died in the Athenian Games, demanded the king of Athens to supply him with 7 girls and 7 boys to be sacrificed to the beast, the Minotaur, to which the Athenian king agreed. The son of the king, Theseus, will eventually go himself, since Minos' daughter, Ariadne, takes a liking to him. She gives him a yarn of wool so he can retrace his steps. Theseus manages to kill the Minotaur and retraces his steps. He then flees Crete with Ariadne from the enraged Minos. A large part of ancient Minoan art depicts bulls, indicating that there is some truth to the myth. Here we have a bull leaping fresco from the palace of Knossos. Here we have a youth performing what looks like a sort of ritual. Males were usually darker in tone and females lighter. We can interpret this as depicting 3 stages of a ritual, starting from the left and going to the right. The ritual probably constitutes of the bull charging at you. You grab its horn, use the momentum when it rears its head to fling yourself over, do a handspring off its back, and to finally land on your feet. This is a ritual which probably failed most of the time, and they could have been asking vassal states to send tribute in the form of men and women to perform this ritual in front of a large crowd. We can't say the exact nature of this ritual. It could have been a rite of passage to prove oneself, and it is probably life-threatening and done in front of a large crowd. Here we have a bull rhiton, a bull head which served a ritual purpose. They were probably filled with wine and intentionally smashed. Probably functioned as a proxy, a stand-in for a sacrificial victim. The Knossos palace was the largest palace in the island of Crete, and this is where the legendary king Minos would have resided. The palace had a complex plan and was very much like a maze, reinforcing that there is some truth to the myth. This was done for defensive purposes against enemies who would have become easily lost and entrapped in the palace. In the center of the structure, we have a courtyard used for festivities. Close to the center of the palace we have the throne room, where one would approach it from the side. Griffins surround the throne to signify the divine presence and act as guardian figures. There is a basin in front of the throne, probably for a ritual purpose. This throne would have been used by a religious figure or the king himself, but it would have remained religious in nature. On the other side of the courtyard we have the king's and queen's room. Though these are just names, their purpose is unknown. The art here is supposed to represent a basin with dolphins and fish. There are sea plants on all the sides, creating the sense that we are looking down into the pool. In Minoan art, marine depictions were very common. Here we have an octopus, tentacles enwrapped around the jaw. Here we have some sort of priest or king leading what seems to be a bull to sacrifice. Here we have women that are elaborately dressed, and they appear everywhere. They had a high status religious function. We have statues that seem to be snake goddesses. Snakes symbolize fertility. Ariadne is theorized by some as being a Crete goddess originally, who is known as the mistress of the labyrinth, and even possibly being the snake goddess.